Hello and welcome, I'm Stormo, and we're looking at Destiny right now because I wanted to talk a little bit about this game. I've been playing it again recently, and I'm in a really interesting situation with Destiny because I purchased this, and obviously I did have subtitles turned on in this video, but anyway, I purchased this when it first came out as a digital download on the PS4. Which is where this footage has come from, and I played it for a bit, and I had a good time with it, but it was not a game I found kept me engaged, partly because it felt so, I guess, empty and lifeless. Destiny is a really, or was then, a really sterile experience, and it just had no real... didn't hold my interest very much, I suppose is the best way to play it, but I put a fair bit of time into it. I got to level 20, which was the level cap back then, and I got, you know, I had a bit of fun. I had fun, but not enough to keep me coming back for the raid and all that other stuff that the game had, and I quit basically by the time the first downloadable content pack came out, which was, I think, The Dark Below, or was that the second one? It was either The Dark Below or House of Wolves. I can't remember which one it was meant to be. Yeah, House of Wolves, that's it. Anyway, I quit before House of Wolves came out, and I sort of thought, don't really want to play this. And the thing was, at the time I thought, well, I might pick up that pack a bit later and come back to Destiny and have some good fun, but the problem with Destiny at the time is actually, oddly enough, the same problem Diablo 3 had when it first came out, where the loot system in this game was very badly broken. It was difficult to get decent loot, and loot that you did get didn't feel meaningful or interesting. It didn't cause you to change the way you would play your character in any significant way at the time. So I sort of decided, you know what, if I'm going to play a game with broken loot system, I may as well play Diablo 3, which I did, and by that stage Reaper of Souls had come out, and Reaper of Souls dramatically fixed everything with Diablo 3. It made the game much more fun. It changed the loot system, so it was a much more interesting loot system. You got much more meaningful loot, and you were able to craft much more meaningful loot as well, so among the many other things that Reaper of Souls has brought to the game. Anyway, so Destiny, I quit playing. I was like, okay, you know. And then earlier this year, of course, The Taken King was announced, along with a massive overhaul of Destiny itself, of the actual game itself. Basically, Destiny 2.0, I suppose, is the best way to describe it. And I think that's what the version number describes it as too. But yeah, this was along with the Taken King expansion. I thought, oh cool, you know, I can buy into the Taken King and have another look. The first warning sign should have been the fact that the Taken King was priced at 70 Australian dollars, I believe. That's what it cost on the PSN store. It's either 60 or 70. The point is it costs basically what you pay for a full game, which is a lot, and to be fair, it's not much more than what Blizzard charged for Reaper of Souls. Actually, no, it is, because Reaper of Souls, I'm pretty sure I only paid $50 for Reaper of Souls, maybe not even that, but anyway, the point is, it was expensive. But that would have maybe been okay if it wasn't for the other problem that the Taken King has, which is that the Taken King requires you to have purchased both previous expansions. And that's cool. Okay, so yeah, you need one expansion to build on the next expansion. So you needed House of Wolves and you needed The Dark Below to keep going. And that's cool, that's how World of Warcraft has always worked. You know, except until recently, at least that's how World of Warcraft always worked. You had to have previous expansions to have the next one. You couldn't skip an expansion, and that's okay. However, there is a problem with this, which is that when the Taken King came out, you had two options for purchasing it. You could buy the Taken King as it was, as I accidentally walked behind a structure there, but there we go, my mad sniper rifle skills. But yeah, you could purchase the Taken King as an individual package, or you could purchase the complete game with the two previous expansions and the Taken King all in a single thing. So you got Destiny, you got The Dark Below, you got House of Wolves, and you got the Taken King. That was cool, except for one problem. If you're in my situation where you bought the game but did not buy any of the expansions, you either have to rebuy the game or purchase everything separately for more than it would cost you to rebuy the game. Basically, looking at the pricing on the PlayStation Store, and honestly the PlayStation Store's Australian pricing is insanely high, but look at the pricing on the Australian Store, I worked it out. There's two options to buy the expansions on their own. The first option is to buy them all individually, and it works out at around $120 just to buy House of Wolves and the Dark Below and the Taken King, because House of Wolves and the Dark Below are $25 each, plus the Taken King, which is $70. That's $120. Fortunately, there is a pack you can get that is the 2 previous expansions in a single pack, and that only costs $40, so that's $10 less than you would pay if you bought them separately. But it still means you're paying $110 just for the expansions. The alternative is to buy the game itself, is to buy the full Taken King pack that has the game and the Taken King and the 2 expansions, and that's $100. So you're paying $10 less to get a copy of the game. Now, what I don't understand is why it isn't possible for that package to recognize that you already have a digital purchase of the game, which I have, and discount that from the overall price of the package. Now, obviously, because of the way this is all priced, it doesn't make a lot of sense to do that. But I'm sort of annoyed by the fact that the cheap option for me essentially is to buy another copy of Destiny that I don't actually need or don't need to use. Now, I do recognise that you can buy a physical version of this as well. And my worry with buying the physical version, my understanding with the physical version is that it comes with a game disc plus unlock codes for the expansion. So you can basically buy it and then just use the unlock codes if you want. We're going to pick up this encrypted engram that's sitting over here. Yeah, that's cool. This is the part where I die. I got to this point and I died. So yeah, the thing with the physical edition though is it actually costs less to buy than it does if I bought it digitally on the PlayStation Store, because my local video games retailer will sell it to me for around the price of what the PlayStation Store wants for the actual just the Taken King expansion, for example. So I could go down to my local video game store and pay $70 and I could have Destiny and I could have the 2 expansions and I could have the Taken King, and it's $30 less, but I end up with an extraneous copy of Destiny, which I'm not sure I want, but which I may as well have because that's the way the game's priced. So I feel like there needs to either be a bundle that incorporates the 3 expansions for those of us who already own the base game at a decent discount. In fact, I don't even understand why it couldn't just be the Taken King for $70 with 2 previous expansions and then discount it, because the price for the Taken King is ridiculously high as it is. And I don't understand why it needs to be that high for an expansion. I mean, I'm sure there's good logic behind the way these video game prices are set, but I live in Australia, and video games are stupidly expensive here anyway, so I'm always going to end up paying more than I should. Exacerbated, of course, by the fact that I actually bought Destiny from the Australian PlayStation Store, not the American one, because at the time it worked out cheaper to do that. Which means, on the other hand, that I have the problem of I don't believe I can buy the DLC for American prices, and to be honest, it probably wouldn't save me any money at the moment because of exchange rates and the way I have to buy American PSN store stuff. For those of you who are unfamiliar with like living in a PlayStation region other than North America, it's not uncommon for people here in Australia to have PlayStation Store accounts for the North American region. I failed dismally at this event, by the way. It's not uncommon for us to have North American region accounts because often it works out a bit cheaper to buy certain games. It's not always, but often. Unfortunately, there are restrictions on being able to use credit cards. I think this is where I die. Unfortunately, there are restrictions on us being able to use credit cards with American accounts. Basically, the credit card has to have an American address, which most people don't. So I end up usually using store vouchers from the PlayStation Store that I buy from online retailers to get American store credit. And The problem with doing that, of course, is that you can end up paying exactly what you would have paid on the Australian store. So ultimately, it's probably only the best thing. Yeah, there I go. I died. It's only really good for getting access to stuff that isn't available here in Australia, or stuff that may be delayed in Australia for whatever reason. So it's not as great at getting discounts on stuff. And yeah, my PS4 itself is actually a US PS4. I bought a launch day model and imported it here.
Ready if you
so, and it works fine, you know. And I think that may actually help me with regards to working on the American store. I don't know, because the PS4 is not region locked anyway. Although it is for Blu-ray discs. So I have an American Blu-ray player, so that's cool. But anyway, the point is that here in Australia, we end up paying a lot more for video games than we should. And Destiny is particularly galling in this regard, because right now it's basically, if you want to start with Destiny in Australia right now, you have to buy the base game, which you can pick up for less than $50 if you buy a physical copy at a store. Digitally, you have to pay, well, digitally I think the only way to get it now is the bundle with the Taken King and the other 2 expansions, so I don't think you can actually buy Destiny on its own digitally. At least not in the PlayStation store, you can't. Maybe the Xbox One store, which I'm pretty sure the pricing is the same on both stores. But I'm using the PlayStation store as my example here, because that's what I own Destiny on. So yeah, but if the experience is different on the Xbox One store, feel free to chime in the comments and all that kind of stuff. Obviously I've pre-recorded this footage, because I can't record and commentate PS4 footage at the same time. I need an Elgato or something like that to do that. I don't even know why I'm bothering with this. It's just really embarrassingly bad. So yeah, we don't succeed at this mission at all. We don't get help either. Like, these level 40s that are running around don't help us at all. I should point out actually with this character, it's not the character I played when I first played Destiny. It's a new character I made last week, just to sort of have another go at Destiny. And I was considering purchasing the expansions and just going through it, and, you know, biting the bullet and going through it. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to afford it. It just is a ridiculous amount of money. Unless I can find the game bundle for not a lot of money and do whatever with the discs. And like I say, I believe the game bundle, the actual disc, physical game bundle that you can buy in a shop, I believe it comes with a disc and download codes for the expansion, so I don't need to worry about the download codes. I don't know why I didn't use my stabby attack here, but... well, I used my melee attack, but I mean the supercharged attack. I don't know what I was thinking when I was recording. I was just trying to record footage. That's all this is. I mean, you guys know what Destiny is. I don't need to explain this game, I think. I mean, if I do, it's basically Diablo, but Diablo meets Halo, is the best way to describe Destiny. And yeah, and so my big problem, as I said, is that I think that if I want to buy into Destiny now, if I want to get back into it, I need to get the Taken King to be able to do that. As we sit here and futz around with the menus. The video ends before I get back to the tower, unfortunately. It took a long time to load the tower and the video ended. I didn't switch over. I'm not sure I've made any of the right decisions. Just ignore all this. You know, you obviously all have far better weapons if you play Destiny than this. I'm level 20. I haven't got the expansions yet, and I don't know if I'm going to buy them because, like I said, it's an insane amount of money for me to pick up everything. Like, if it was going to cost me maybe $50 to get both previous expansions and the Taken King, and the thing it's worth probably pointing out too, with House of Wolves and The Dark Below aren't big expansions in the way the Taken King is. The Taken King is more like a Reaper of Souls style extension. It adds a massive extra amount to the game, and it does a bunch of extra stuff, whereas the older ones don't. You know, the older ones are more like, well, they're more like DLC packs, really. They're shorter. I believe there is stories. They both add story missions and a raid and some new loot, and I think maybe some multiplayer maps in one of them. I'm not 100% on that. I did do some Destiny multiplayer, but I'm really bad at it. Or I was really bad at it when I played it. I'm probably even worse at it now. But yeah, so, you know, and fundamentally, I like Destiny. I think it is a really good game. I'm going to have to wrap this video up now because I'm running out of recorded stuff. Fundamentally, I really like Destiny. It's a really good game, and the 2.0 patch and the expansion has improved it massively. But it's just too expensive. And that's my problem with it. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time, as this video runs out right about now.